You woke up, but something already felt off. Your eyes opened, but your mind was already running, checking problems, replaying conversations, anticipating pressure before your feet even touched the ground. Part of you just wanted a quiet start, but instead felt like the day was already ahead of you and you were trying to catch up to it. Maybe you reached for your phone without thinking, or maybe you just laid there, feeling that subtle weight in your chest, like you were already behind on a day that hasn't even begun yet. And that feeling, it's not just tiredness, it's misalignment. It's what happens when your day begins with reaction instead of intention, when the world speaks before your spirit does, and suddenly your peace is no longer leading, it's chasing. Most people think they need more discipline or motivation, but what they're really missing is a centered beginning, a moment where their heart is anchored before their hands start moving. Because when your morning starts scattered, your whole day feels like recovery. But there is another way, quieter way, a grounded way, a way where you don't have to carry everything the moment you wake up. If you've been feeling overwhelmed before your day even begins, you're not broken. You're just starting from the wrong place. Before anything else, there is a doorway, a quiet, almost invisible threshold between waking up and stepping into the world. And how you move through that space shapes everything. Most people rush past it, grabbing their phone, checking notifications, letting urgency take over before their heart is even awake. But you can pause, just for a moment, not to do anything, but to arrive, to breathe, to become aware that this moment isn't empty. It's full. God is already here, steady, present, close, not waiting for perfect words, just your awareness. So before your feet hit the floor, stay still for a few seconds longer. Let your first awareness not be your responsibilities, but your connection. Even a simple "God, I'm here" is enough. Because alignment doesn't begin with effort, it begins with presence. And that leads to a quiet realization. What was your first thought this morning? Was it pressure, or was it peace? The first voice you hear each morning shapes your day. And most of the time, it isn't your own. It's the noise of the world pulling your attention outward before you've had a chance to come inward. That's why silence matters. Before you reach for your phone, create space, even just a few minutes, not as a rule, but as protection. Because silence isn't empty, it's where clarity forms. Sit, breathe, let your thoughts settle. And in that quiet, your mind slows, your body softens, your heart becomes easier to hear. This is where alignment deepens. Because when you delay the world's input, you give God space to speak first, not loudly, but through steadiness, through peace. So tomorrow, let the phone wait. The world will still be there. But this moment, this stillness, is where your strength begins. Your mind needs something to stand on. Because if you don't give it truth, it will default to worry. That's why you choose one promise. Just one. Not complicated, just something steady you can carry with you. God is with me. I will not be shaken. Peace is available to me right now. Let it be personal. Because this isn't about reading more, it's about anchoring deeper. That one line becomes your reset throughout the day. When stress rises, you return to it. When doubt creeps in, you repeat it. When things feel uncertain, you stand on it. Not perfectly, just consistently. And slowly, your alignment stays with you. Not just in the morning, but in real life. Then comes a simple but powerful step, writing it down. Because thoughts drift, but writing decides. This is your declaration. Take a notebook, just one page, and write a sentence for your day. Today, I walk in peace, not pressure. Today, I trust that doors are opening for me. Today, I am aligned with clarity, favor, and calm. You're not writing what you see, you're writing what you're stepping into. And as you do, something begins to shift. If you can, write it now, or simply say it quietly. I am stepping into peace today. Stay with that, because this is where change begins, not loudly, but internally. And then you release. You don't have to carry everything, but it often feels like you do. The responsibilities, the pressure, the need to get everything right. It builds before the day even begins. So now, gently bring your to-do list to mind. The worries, the decisions, the expectations. Just notice them, and then imagine placing all of it into God's hands. Not rushing, not forcing, just letting it rest there. God, I give this to you, not because you're giving up, but because you're choosing to trust. And as you do, something shifts. Your breathing softens. Your chest feels lighter. Your thoughts stop pushing so hard. That's surrender. Not everything disappearing, but you no longer holding it alone. Now you step into your day, not rushed, not pressured, just steady, because something in you has shifted. You may not have all the answers, but you're no longer starting from chaos. You're starting from peace. Take one more breath. Let it be slow. You're not behind. You're exactly where you need to be. God is already ahead of you in every conversation, every decision, every open door. You don't have to force what's meant to unfold. Walk with quiet confidence. Favor is going before you. Peace is staying with you. And if pressure returns, pause, breathe, return to your promise. You're not starting over, you're realigning. This doesn't have to be a one-time moment. What you felt, this calm, this clarity, it's something you can return to daily. Not perfectly, just consistently. Tomorrow morning, start simple. Pause before you move. Then silence before the screen. One promise, one sentence, one surrender. That's it. And over time, your mornings change. Your thoughts soften. Your reactions shift. You don't just go through your day, you walk through it differently. So now, just stay here for a moment longer. Don't rush away. The day is still waiting, but you don't have to enter it the same way. Nothing outside has changed, but something inside you has. You're not carrying the same weight. You're not led by the same pressure. And that changes everything. Move forward gently, one step at a time. And if the noise returns, you already know the way back. Pause, breathe, return. Because peace isn't something you find once. It's something you now know how to come back to.